Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time. Z-R-C. Damn, Healy. Oh, really? It's top 100 games.
Hey folks, Tom Vassell here.
Z Garcia, how you doing, everybody?
Sam Healy. Apparently, I'm just here because I have to be.
Welcome to our video.
So we are doing the top 30 games of all time. So this
We're doing all 30 right now?
No.
Yes!
Yeah!
It's like a marathon session. We'll get done. A 3-hour video. I'm sure people would really love that one.
Would like it.
Okay, so for me, this 10 is actually nothing new. All mine are games I've had before.
Okay.
But some are in very different positions than they were prior to it. But that's just the way it gets. I mean, I'll have some more new entries in the top 20, actually. But
Wow.
for the top 30, 21 through 30, all the same, but still good games.
We have 2 new games on this.
And I'm sure I have a couple of new ones as well. And some surprises
To
to
everyone.
me. I don't
All
know
right.
what's in there.
Oh, here we go.
30.
All right, so anyway, my number 30 is a game that has actually literally supplanted its predecessor in my list from last year. The one from last year, or the last time I did this rather, was Star Realms. And Hero Realms has completely
Wow.
just ripped it out and put itself in there. So Star Realms didn't make my list at all this year, but Hero Realms
But you still
has.
like Star Realms.
Oh yeah, I still like it. Don't get me wrong. It's like, I don't know, 450, something like that.
That's a lie. You didn't make your list that long.
I haven't made that long. But it's like, it's not in my top 100, but I still really enjoy Star Realms. Matter of fact, I play Star Realms with my daughter every once in a while because she really enjoys that game. She's the one that asked to help me, for me to help her find it so that she could download the app onto her phone. So
wow.
she really enjoys Star Realms, and I'll play it with her every once in a while. Hero Realms, though, is slightly different, but still the same.
Yeah.
I love the character packs for Hero Realms, and that's really the main reason why it has completely replaced Star Realms on my list. Is because of those character packs, and I know they're doing something very similar to that with the new Kickstarter
I wonder what's going
for
to happen.
Star
Are we going
Realms.
to go back to Star Realms?
I don't think so.
Switch every time he does a top 100.
No, yeah,
Last year,
just
Hero
flip flops,
Realms.
just flip flops. No, no, I really do enjoy Hero Realms a lot better. I like the artwork of Hero Realms a little bit better than Star Realms. Star Realms
Me
had
too.
that kind of CG
sure.
look to it,
For sure.
and Hero Realms was a little bit more polished, a little bit cleaner as far as the artwork is concerned. But I really enjoy this game a lot. Top 30 Hero Realms.
My number 30 was number 9 last year. I don't know that I played this game at all last year. No, I played it with the app. That's right, they came out with an app for this game, which I'm not a big fan of, but that has nothing to do with the drop, and that's Descent. The reason Descent is not number 9 is because there possibly may be another dungeon crawler slightly higher in my list, but I really still do like Descent. Descent, when Imperial Assault came out, it was kind of like, is this going to replace Descent? But as time has gone by, as much as I like I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
The idea of Star Wars plus Descent was a great one, and it works. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But I just keep going back to Descent. I just like it. I just like
Okay.
I wouldn't mind if they actually came out with Descent 3.0 and incorporated a lot of the Imperial Assault stuff in.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, and I really like that, although they better have some sort of backwards compatibility thing, because I have so much Descent stuff at this point in time. But even if they never made any more Descent stuff, I'm still fine. There's a gazillion monsters, all this stuff, and they're still making app integration for it. They've changed it a little bit, so maybe I like it more, but either way, it's a lot of fun for me. I still like the whole idea of an overlord anyway.
Right.
And most dungeon crawls these days are you versus the game.
Oh, I think I
Yes.
might know what replaced it.
Okay, so anyhow, Descent.
I've been thinking. It's
My
been
number
burning
30.
my brain. I think I know.
I don't know. All right, my number 30 is a game we talk about very often. This is Ticket to Ride Europe. Ticket to
You
Ride.
talk about that very often.
Oh, Ticket to Ride.
Okay.
We talk about Ticket to Ride quite a bit, and Ticket to Ride Europe happens to be my favorite for its nice balance between ease of entry. It's a great gateway game, and I enjoy the mechanisms and the map balance, and that one works for me. You know, the U.S., someone new might ignore the coast-to-coast lines, and that's really going to hurt your score. In Europe, it's obviously a little, has right.
Ticket to Ride.
Z has
Yeah!
such powerful delivery.
It's too bad he wasn't being more emphatic because
know,
that
right?
whole
That would
like.
have been good. Good timing.
I was-
Warn me next time.
No, that's not gonna happen.
So yeah, Ticket to Ride Europe is my favorite. Fantastic gateway game. I don't really need to sell this game much more than they're doing that already. So
Also approved.
that's my number 30. Ticket to Ride Europe.
29.
My number 29 is Roll for the Galaxy. It was 25 last year, so some similarities to where it places. I'll talk about that later. But Roll for the Galaxy, when it came out, it was the DICE version of Race for the Galaxy to some degree, and I really liked it. Race for the Galaxy I tend to like best with 2 or 3 players. Roll for the Galaxy I like with more players. I like the custom dice that are in the game.
Yeah.
The expansion added even a few more. The
Yeah,
tiles and
yeah.
stuff. The game plays smoothly. Not as smoothly as Race for the Galaxy when all is said and done, but still pretty good.
It's still really good.
It's just a lot of fun. I kind of like games where I get to build up my display and things in front of myself, and
Yes.
that's what this game does.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun, and also dice. And I
Yeah.
like the dice placement aspect.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever play. I mean, I'll play Race for the Galaxy again, but I don't think I'll ever. I won't ever recommend it over Roll for the Galaxy.
Well,
I really like it that much better.
We'll see on my list later
No,
on
it's gonna
where
be higher.
I
It's
feel
gonna be
about
higher.
this.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Race better for sure.
Although last year Roll for the Galaxy was higher than Race for me by
Just
1.
The iconography of Race for the Galaxy is just so
yeah.
hedgy. It's just a hedge for me. I can't get past it.
My number 29 is a game I think some of us mentioned already. Summoner Wars is my 29. If not, it will be. I know Tom really likes
it's
it too.
It's a 2
so.
crossover for sure. Only.
Yes. No.
Summoner Wars, I have enjoyed that game tremendously for a long time. I very much enjoy asymmetrical games. I like the idea of discovering new, I call them factions, is that what they call them? Yeah, factions, and finding the one that best jives with you. Their play style is the one that you tend to gravitate towards, and digging into something like that is really enjoyable for me. I'm not a big miniatures game fan. This has no measurement, none of that weird stuff, but I don't mind grid movement and simple combat and things like that. So I enjoyed very much. I kind of jumped out of it after they did the whole alliances thing. I never even played that set.
Really?
Yeah, so
Well, if you like having your own simple faction that's completely different from the other ones, maybe alliances will turn you off.
Right.
But at the same time, this alliance of a faction is completely different than that alliance of
Well, not to mention, you
Yeah.
don't have to mix. Like the Alliance ones, you can mix stuff from different factions, but you don't have to. They're still their own deck. You can just treat it as a new faction.
Right.
right, but there were no new quote-unquote personalities in it, and that's kind of what I liked about it. So I have everything up to that point. Very happy with my set of Summoner Wars.
You have the master set?
I have the master set and all the previous stuff and all the individual packs.
You know, I should. If I ever did a top 10 things where like, what a deal. The master set was such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
You got it and got a ton of stuff. It was amazing.
My 29 Summoner Wars.
This happened during his game
Every
too.
single one! All right, my number
true,
one,
that's weird.
I'm sorry, my number 29 is Mission Red Planet.
Wait, I thought you already said Mission Red Planet.
No. We've talked about it on another one. No, this
Must have been another top 10.
This is not.
They're starting to blur together for
This
me.
is
Well,
not-
I know
I
you
don't
love
know.
Mission
I
Red
don't
Planet.
know. Yeah, no.
Or did you mention it on yours, maybe?
Maybe?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, maybe that's
sure,
what it was.
yes.
Because you really enjoy the game too.
I do.
We maybe talked about it, but I don't know. My number 29, I don't think I've mentioned it before. I certainly hope I haven't, because that would mean bad things. But no, it means the 101 would make it on.
Yeah, it gets
I don't
its
know what
own
the
video.
101 is. I don't know what the 101 is, but Mission Red Planet is a great game. Maybe it's because I was doing the insert for it a couple days ago. Maybe that's what.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Okay.
Anyway, Mission Red Planet is a great game. The first edition was really cool. Loved it. Didn't really see anything wrong with it necessarily, except for the cubes. Didn't really like the cubes that much, but that's one of the things that got fixed in the second edition. You have your own little miniature astronauts that are.
They were discs. They were little round discs
Were they
that
discs?
rolled over the board.
Yeah, I was thinking actually, I'm like, what cubes? Yeah,
Well,
the people.
They were little round
little
cubes,
discs.
like really tiny discs. They were more annoying than cubes,
Oh,
actually.
okay. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's why I was annoyed.
I'm gonna secretly, when Sam gets a new game, I'm just gonna put cubes in and not tell him, and he'll just think that's the components. And
Yeah,
then-
you got that idea from Robert Geislinger.
That's hilarious.
That's not funny, Robert. You're a bad person. Not really. You're not a bad person. You're just for doing that. Anyway, my number 29, Mission Red Planet.
28.
Oh boy, here we go. My number 28, I'm gonna get a whole lot of garbage for. My 28 is Factory Funner. Factory Funner.
Whoa, really? It's not Factory Fun. It's Factory Funner.
They're almost the same game. I mean, they're very similar. Factory Funner. Which,
I want to see how many times you have to say that
I hate
stupid
that
name.
title so much. It's so stupid. Just call it more Factory Fun or something. Anyway, it does have a couple of new mechanisms, slight tweaks on the mechanisms from before that I do find are conducive to a better gaming experience, and that is mainly if you are the first one to grab out of the displayed machines, you lose 1 victory point. If you are the last one, you gain 1 victory point. Now, 1 point is not enough to keep me from grabbing something early if I can use it and then get 8 or 10, but it will discourage those people who are just grabbing quickly without being careful with a bunch of little pushes.
Could you add that rule to the original game?
Oh sure, yeah, that's easy. You could, but so it's built right in. The tiles will remind you of that also, so it's visually right there. And the playing with hexes instead of squares, like the layout of everything being hexagonal instead of squares, is both easier to connect to things and a brand new puzzle. It messes with your head in new and interesting ways. I enjoy it very much. I really like Factory Fun. The follow-up, I didn't say it. The follow-up is very good
Factory
as well.
Funner.
No. That's my 28.
I'm not gonna give you hate for this. I think it's okay. Dan.
I will.
What?
I hate this game. I hate this game because it's simply
Torture
oh
for you.
no, my goodness! It simply rewards somebody for processing information faster than everybody else. That's all this game is.
I don't know. I think being careful, also leaving yourself options for the following round.
Have you played this game with Jason?
No.
Play with me.
I played it with you and can't remember his name now.
The first one, I
It'd
think.
be funny if you played it with Jason.
Red-headed guy.
Oh, Don. Oh.
Don.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm
Don.
sorry. Don's really good at the game.
Yeah, Donna and I are both pretty good at it.
Yeah,
I
they're both
think,
really good
so.
at the game. You simply process information faster than I do.
So you're saying you did not win?
I don't care if I won or not. I hate the process.
Yeah, it's definitely a divisive game.
Give us a better game then.
I will. Number 28, Zombies, Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter is a completely better
Oh.
game, which is also
trying to
pretty
think of the
cool.
Zombies.
Which is pretty cool though, because you don't like this game very much. You don't hate it as much.
I
as
don't hate
that.
it. No, I don't hate it, but I don't
But
like it.
I just thought that
very
was
much.
an interesting back and possibly.
Well, you both hate my. Actually, that's true.
No, but seriously, Dead of Winter is one of the first zombie games that to me felt like it took the zombie genre like seriously, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Where it was making, like a modern day movie and not trying to pay homage to an old B-type movie or something.
That's true. It wasn't trying to be campy.
No, it was
There's
not.
a little bit of
definitely-
camp in it. There's a dog for crying out
Well,
loud.
I understand that, but I mean,
Yeah,
for the most part,
for the most part, yeah.
it was taking the genre seriously. This is a cooperative game, mainly that that you're trying to survive as a colony, and then there's the possibility of one person getting their feathers ruffled a little bit too much and turning on the rest of the group, which again also fits the theme of the genre as well. So I really enjoyed this game. I still like just the base game. I do enjoy the Long Night, I believe is what it's called, because that was kind of a strange bird because it basically gave you a second edition of the game that you could add to the first edition of the game.
Yeah. I would still probably recommend
Which
someone
was-
get the first game because it's
I think too. There's a
less
lot
confusing.
extra stuff that's going on in Long Night, and some of that stuff is really cool, and I like it. But as a whole, I like Dead of Winter, the first edition. The first edition. I just did that. I like Dead of Winter, the base game, better as a whole, especially as a not really gateway, but as a introductory into that whole universe of Dead of Winter and Raxon and all that kind of stuff. So that's my number 28. Definitely better than Factory Funner. Dead of Winter.
My number 28, actually, I don't think you've ever played.
Okay.
You don't like it. It was my number 1 many years ago, and that is Duel of Ages.
I've played.
Oh, you have played it. To be clear, Duel of Ages 2nd Edition, which is a revamped version of the first one. Duel of Ages is a game that's sloppy. There's too many charts. There's too much going on. There's a good chunk of randomness, and I still love it. Despite all that, I like the characters. I like the fact that there's a gazillion characters, a gazillion weapons. The amount of variety in this game is greater than almost any game that there is. There's just, and I love the theming. I love the whole Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure type theming in this. You know, where Robin Hood's out there with a flamethrower. You know, and then there's some, you know, caveman out there with a machine gun. You're like, what's going on here? It's just funny to me. Yeah, I like the stories. Well, technically, in the game,
Sorry, that visual popped in my head. I had to share it with you all.
I liked it.
But it's fun. It's definitely not for everyone. This is not a game when people come over like, hey, let's play one of your games. And like, here's all these games. And I don't mention Duel of Ages, right?
Right.
But if someone else really likes the game, I have a great time with them.
Okay.
But, you know, like me and Melody will have a great time playing it. There's other people who are fans of the game. But it's a very, very esoteric game. It's like,
Yes.
it's a game that's in my top 100, and I really like it. But I'd be cautious about recommending it to too many others. If you like the theme, if you like the game, it's great.
I think it's going to happen, actually, when we get closer to, actually, maybe not the top 10, right? Those games surpass those sort of quirks, personal quirks. But there's a chunk of games between, like, maybe 11 and 30 that are games you really like and you really like.
It won't be.
Well, even
You know what I
Factory
mean?
Thunder is in
Factory
that
Thunder for sure.
same way, right? Not
that
everyone's
game
gonna like
for
that.
sure. You know, that'll win or no, that has the mass appeal. But there's going to be a few games that you got to make sure you say, hey, listen, I know.
Yeah.
This is not for everybody.
Right.
But you got to have games like that that are so divisive and they really speak to you, you know?
Yeah, and that's
I like
what the first time I played it, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
but it still has, again, I played it and I'm like, man, I could streamline this. It could be less clunky, and I still have fun.
Yes.
So, there we go. Duel of Ages 2.
27.
My number 27 is, I think was on my list last time. I forget when was the last time I did a top 100. This is a game that was a surprise like for me. It's not a game it's not a style of game I normally would enjoy. This came out of nowhere to really charm the pans off of me, and I adore the game. The Others.
Got it. Nailed it.
How did you know it? How did
Because he
Charm the
knows it's
Pants
not my
Off
kind of game at
become
all.
Kind
Others?
of games.
I mean, I am not normally a big
he
minis on a
nerds
map,
his game.
rolling a bunch of dice, combat, clashing armies kind of stuff. I go into that kind of game very apprehensively.
That's true.
Here's the thing that does this for me. I like the co-op nature, all versus one, really. That's fine. I love co-op games. And this game, mechanically, is tight. It's clean. There's not really a lot of mechanisms at play here. There's not a lot of checking charts. There's not a lot of, I forgot that 1+2 I get from this extra thing I forgot I got. That gets
Unless
under my
Vernon is
skin
playing the
bad,
game.
man. Huh?
Unless Vernon is playing the game.
No. I don't normally find that to be the case, but yeah, Vernon just sort of eats that
He
game
nerfs
up, and he
everything,
eats it for
dude.
breakfast. So I really enjoy The Others. The theme doesn't bother me. I like that crazy monster stuff. I like it a lot. I have a bunch of it. I really enjoy it. It's a well-made game. It's one that is splashy and horrific and does a lot of these things that a lot of guys and gals who enjoy this kind of game enjoy. But it speaks to me because of those mechanisms being so solid. So that's my 27.
Cool beans.
Yeah, The Others.
My number 27 last year was 44, so it's moving up. And that is Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition.
Oh, yeah.
This is a game I sometimes play solo.
What?
I know. What can I say?
The sky is crying.
I know.
I have caused the rain.
You play solo.
No, okay, look, I know that over the years I've given grief to people who play solo games, and
Right, apologize to me.
no, see, if you had said apologize to those people, it would have worked.
Yeah.
But Mansions of Madness, the 2nd edition, really just is the way it uses the app, I think, is the best I've seen in any app integration in a game. Like XCOM, it was, and other games, it's kind of there, it's some facilitator and stuff. But in Mansions of Madness, man, I really like how that comes into play there. Great theming, a lot of fun, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And this one, I like that when they add more apps in the map. They already have some expansions and there's announced expansions. That's fine, but even the 4 basic ones change. I tested it, right? I went through and I said, okay, this scenario we play, let's go through and see if things change, and they do. It's like the basic story, but where the things happen are in different rooms. I love that.
Right.
And the app can handle that, so that's really cool. Mansions of Madness 2nd edition.
Cool. My number 27 is a worker placement game. To clarify, a dice placement game called Kingsburg. Kingsburg is...
you're going to be excited then. Like, the 2nd edition's coming out in a week.
I just don't like how the board looks. I've seen, maybe they've changed it since the last time I've seen it, because last time I saw the board and the new artwork, the new graphic design of the board, I was not happy. I like the way the other board looks better, but maybe they've changed it again. I haven't looked, maybe not. But yeah, 2nd edition's coming out. Are they including the expansion in the 2nd edition?
And more.
And more?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
See, now.
See, the graphic design of the board just completely turned me off, so I haven't really done any research on it. So I guess I'll look into it. But see, I already have everything, but the and more part is interesting to me. But anyway, Kingsburg
That's how they get
with
you, man.
That's
how they get you, right? They're like, it's the same
And
old expansion
more.
and 5 new cards. Buy it
How
for
much
5
more? Yeah,
cards.
exactly.
Yeah, they get.
So anyway, Kingsburg is one of those games that I've really enjoyed. I like worker placement anyway. I also like dice rolling. So that marriage of those two mechanisms really works for me. I like the village building aspect of it, where my village is going to be different from yours. There's going to be some similarities in the first couple of columns, but then we're going to differentiate in the other columns as well, and we're going to be just feeling so much more different by the end of the game. A lot of the games that I've played have been very, very close nail-biter type situations. I have seen it where there was a runaway leader and we just couldn't catch up to him too. So that happens, but I really enjoy the game a lot. That's my number 27, Kingsburg.
Hey, we're back.
Rain delay is over.
All right. So my number 26 was 87 last year, so it has shot up really high.
Wow.
87.
Expansion involved.
Expansions involved. This game, when they announced
called
it,
it.
they promised that it wouldn't have that many expansions, and they pretty much lied, because there's like 3 or 4 expansions that come out a year for this game,
yeah.
and that is Eldritch Horror.
Oh, okay.
And the newest expansion, Cities and Runes, I really, really like that
Is it
one.
a big one?
No, it's a small one actually,
Really?
but like cities on the board can blow up, and that's, I mean, not that that's good for you, the players. It's actually really bad, but
cool.
it's thematic, right?
that's cool.
London burns. I think London burns like at the beginning of every game,
London.
Yeah, man. That
because
has
apparently they watched our Pandemic
not
Legacy
nice.
1 game.
too real.
But man, I just like these expansions. I like this content, and I do agree. Even though there is a humongous amount of content now, the game itself is not continually getting more complex. Like they bring in the big expansions with another board. You don't have to use those boards.
Okay.
I mean, you can play with or without them, and if you play with a board, you're playing with one.
Okay.
You're not playing with all 4 of the big boards.
That's how Arkham Horror was too, though.
Well, no, you could play with everything in Arkham Horror.
Oh, but you can do that with Eldritch Horror too, right?
No, because the board is set with the great old one that you're fighting.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're fighting the one, or based on something else, those
Okay.
boards don't show up. And then they just mostly just keep adding more stuff. Great, make these stacks thicker and more
That's
interesting.
the main thing I like in that style of game, and Fantasy Flight does this a lot, where they'll introduce a game and each stack of different cards is like 12 different cards in there. You have to wait a few months till they give you an expansion that doubles the size of the decks, you know.
All right, now these decks are really huge to the point where every time I read one, I probably haven't read it before. I mean, I guess if I played all the time.
Sure.
Right.
But it feels like each game is a new experience, and I really like the game. I mean, I lose way more than I win, mostly because I'm also playing new great old ones, and I don't know how to beat them.
Right.
But I like it. So it moved up. Eldritch Horror. Number 26.
All right. My number 26 is a new addition to the list. My number 25 will also be the other new addition to the list.
Oh, I thought Hero Realms was one, but you're counting that as kind of a re-updating of Star Realms? Okay.
Yes, it is. Because it's not it's a new skin on the
That's
old
very true.
game. It's not
Ooh,
really old.
skins, that's a
But
good one. All right.
26 is a game that is a pick up and deliver game, which is strange. but it also has a post-apocalyptic.
Oh,
There's only like one game that meets that criteria.
Right, exactly.
those two things.
Wasteland Express Delivery Service is
Wow,
my
that's
number
really high.
26. I really like
gotta
it. Now,
play this game.
I will say this. My liking of it is modding a couple of the rules that, to me, just make the game too long.
Okay.
So I've modded, and usually I don't do that. Usually I stray away from games that really don't force you to do it, but the game is better because you've modified it a little bit. I don't like games that you have to house rule.
Okay.
This one I really enjoy. This one kind of breaks that rule for me. I just really enjoy it. I love how the different modes of the game give a different feel. You can play just straight pick up and deliver Euro style. No real player interaction at all, except for moving the different Ravager trucks. I can't remember what they're named. The Enclave trucks or whatever they are. But you can. That's the only level of player interaction on the basic game. But you can play it where there's PvP combat as well, where you can go and attack somebody else's truck. And so there's ways to play the game differently. Myself, I personally like it where it's just the pick up and deliver, try to get as many of these goals, objectives done as possible. You know, the three first. I really enjoy the game. I have a lot of fun with it. It's one of the games where once you have all the rules laid down, you can just have fun with it, and the thematic involvement at that point is really in the interaction between the players outside of the game. Doesn't really affect much in the game, but you can kind of role play it up. It's really fun. Have a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy this game a lot. My number 26, Wasteland Express Delivery Service.
All right, my number 26 is considerably less thematic than Sam's entry. This is from the same designer as, and in fact it's in the same series of games as, a game called Dimension, in which you are stacking these spheres trying to solve puzzles, trying to follow rules for the most points. I like that game very much, Dimension. This one I like even better. This is my favorite of the sort of trilogy that this designer has put out. This one's called Uluru, or as the English release, there was an English release from a different company called Pelican Cove. Same exact game, different looks.
I don't think I played this one.
And in it, you are. They function. All three games really function the same way. You are flipping over some cards that tell you follow this rule, follow this rule, follow this rule. You try to do as many as you can in real time. And instead of stacking the spheres, in this one you are arranging these little pelicans, really cute little figures, around a board that you have. And the rules will be make sure that the pink pelican is on a corner. Okay.
Man, I want to play this game.
Put the yellow one. Make sure the yellow one is across from
Because
the
of
black
Pink
one.
Pelican?
Okay. It's a really, really fascinating game. Puzzly, fun. You gotta like the style of game, right? It's gonna have that same vibe as, if you don't like puzzles, if you don't like factory fun. This one isn't as punishing, maybe, but
No, yeah.
if you don't like that style of game,
Do you like Dimension?
That's all you're getting.
I liked Dimension. I don't think it's one. It doesn't even cast a shadow on my top 10.
Right.
I mean, my top 100.
I find
but-
Dimension easy. Is Pelican Cove harder or easier?
No, it's easy. It's about the same. The third game is much harder to sort of grok, which is why it's my least favorite. In fact, I think I got rid of it. But
the component quality of Dimension blew it. I mean, that's one of the things that
this one has great.
So
This one has great pieces as well.
Okay.
Great artwork, great pieces. That's it. That's what the game is. But I really, really enjoy this one. This is by far my favorite of the three. Uluru is my 26.
25.
all right, my number 5.
Boys,
My number
spoilers!
20. I was thinking of something to say. My number 25 has a number that is.
Part of the title?
Never mind. I tried to make a math joke. It's so hard.
Like
'cause I'm not
5
good
is
at
part of
math.
the title?
5 Alive.
Well, my
Fifth
number
Avenue.
25 is divisible by a number in the title of my game.
That's only 25, 5, or 1.
One Night
nerd.
Werewolf. A 5 easy steps. 25 words or less.
A new game to the list. It is cooperative in nature and a puzzle game.
Rising 5.
Rising 5
Okay.
Runes of Astros.
Stop that nonsense! Wait a minute. Did we play this game before we made the top 100? It must have been
It
just
was on my
before.
list as well.
Just before.
It was on my list as
Did
well.
I ask the same question then?
Yes.
Just before.
I was in my, 70s or 80s, and
no,
so
I
you really adored it.
really enjoy this game.
Sorry.
I love this game. Use your shirt. And please don't cut this part out.
All right. You'll get some bloopers later, people. You'll understand what's happening.
I can't go with you hacking up a lung over there. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, make sure I get this.
This is staying in this time.
Okay, so my number 25 is Rising 5, The Ruins of Astros. I really enjoy this game. It was a long time coming because 2 years ago we first started getting rumblings of this. I mean,
time ago.
easily. Maybe, I think you were talking
Well,
about
we
how it was a
definitely
couple
saw
years ago.
last
And
year
for
at
me,
Essen.
it was definitely like a year and a half ago where I was like, ooh, look at that.
Yep.
Yes, Vincent Dutrait's artwork that always goes for piquing my interest. So when we finally got our hands on a copy of this at Gen Con, we played it 3 times at Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's unheard of, really. I did that with Edge of Humanity. I played it only twice. Yeah, Ruins of This is the most played game that I played at Gen Con. And I came back, we played it 2 or 3 more times one day, a couple times another day. I've been playing this so many times, and it's really unheard of. I really enjoy the game. It's aesthetically pleasing. The mechanics of the game are very simple to follow. It's do this, do this. It's a very simple game system. And the puzzles, you think they're too easy, basically. You've said that.
I don't think it's too easy. I think that they're very straightforward. I don't mind that, though, in a co-op game, right?
I mean, it's co-op mastermind.
Right.
I mean, it has not too many more aspirations than that.
That's true.
And I think that's going to be its main issue is people will look at it. It looks like an epic space opera type game, right? It's co-op mastermind.
It is.
You
But-
go in there knowing that, I think you're going to have a great time. I loved it.
Yeah,
but,
I love having
But again, it is a smaller, quote unquote, a smaller game than it would appear to be.
Right.
You know.
It's definitely, it looks grandiose. It really isn't. But it's very fun.
Yeah.
My number 25, Rising 5, The Ruins of Astros.
Is it me? Okay. My number 25 is Karuba. Karuba was
Jamaica, ooh, I'm gonna take you to...
Bermuda, Bahama.
I know it's Aruba. I'm joking.
No, it is Karuba, right? My 25 Karuba. I enjoy tile laying games. I always have. And this one is one of those multiplayer solitaire. I know a lot of people don't like that. I don't care. If I'm having fun, I don't care. And in it, you are trying to do the thing that everyone is doing better than everyone else by a very simple mechanism of connecting your explorers to their respective temples. Draw a tile, tell everyone what that tile is, so you all place the same one and put it somewhere. Don't look at other people, so you're not like breaking the game, basically. But it's really engaging. I've actually played this with I think this game holds the honor of being played with the widest range of ages that I've ever played a game with. I played with he was 7 at the time, 7-year-old nephew, and my dad in the same game, who is 64. Okay.
Well, I can beat that. I'm gonna find some game I'm gonna play with a.
Well, I mean, for me, I've never
Newborn
played
baby.
a game. I don't think I've ever played a game with that big a range of ages, and it worked well because it's so simple, and everybody sort of can attack the game at their own level, and it doesn't affect me, because they're doing their own thing. Really enjoyed, visually very pleasing. This was one of the surprise hits that Hava had, starting a family line, to the point that they seem to be continuing to support it. There's now 2 new spin-off games coming out this year that are Karuba themed. So that's my 25, the original Karuba.
That's one of the cool things about Karuba, though, is the nature of the game fosters this idea of basically being able to help each other without really hurting yourself.
Yeah, right.
Because you
After
turn
I've
over
placed
and
my-
everybody places the same number.
Yeah, after I've placed my tile, I can look around and be like, oh, you can put it there,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a bad place to put it. I'm trying to hurt other people. Is that how the game's supposed to be?
Yes, sure.
Okay. My number 25 cooperative game. Been in my list since the game has come out. Was 30 last year, and that is Ghost Stories. Still love this game.
Too hard.
And I whooped it this year. Actually, we didn't whoop it. We won by the skin of our teeth. You can watch it online.
Did you?
That counts as a whooping because the game's so hard.
Actually, some people have pointed out some mechanisms that I could be doing to make the game easier, and I was like, oh. So
I mean, rules of the game that
Like-
you'd be following.
the one that lets you move a ghost to another spot, well, who cares? Well, you put out the Buddha things, and you can move a ghost on
Oh,
top
yeah,
of
you
a Buddha.
haven't done. Oh, yeah, well, I'm a better player than you at this. But then again, maybe
No.
I did read one of those articles a long time ago when it kept beating me down. I'm like, how to even have a chance? And yeah, the Buddhas definitely by most groups get underutilized, and the moving ghosts and stuff. Yeah, those two are.
Yeah,
they're
so-
subtle. It's like a subtle combo you might not see.
I'm saying I beat it without doing that. So
Really?
actually, we had the internet helping us too, though. So that didn't.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
No, it counts. Everything counts.
It's like
in
a
Ghost
group
Stories.
thing.
The thing I like about
yeah.
Ghost Stories is a lot of games I'm like, you must play with the expansion. And the White Stories is a really amazing expansion,
Yeah.
and the Black Moon is a decent expansion.
Black Secret. Yeah.
Black Secrets, but I don't play with the. Oh, it's White Moon, Black
White
Secrets.
Moon, Black Secret. Yeah.
Right. The White expansion is better than the second one. However, I feel like you don't need to play with those expansions for the game to be fun. I like it just base
Yes,
too.
yes.
It's a really great game, amazing artwork. Of course, PRO does fantastic stuff. That is Ghost Stories.
24.
My number 24 is a World War II themed game, which automatically in some of your minds has popped up images of combat and shooting people and things going by the wayside and dying and all this other kind of stuff. And that's one of the cool things about
And
this
that's
game.
what this game's about.
No, it actually
That
isn't.
would be a
In
weird
this
setup.
game, V Commandos, you do not want to cause a ruckus, because if you cause a ruckus and if you try to kill a whole bunch of people, you're in deep kimchi, buddy. You are probably not going to win
Wait,
the
isn't
game.
this one new to the list?
This is, I don't know if it's new to the list. It might be because I may have played this after I made my last one. But I
Okay.
guarantee you, if I had played this, if it's not on my list last year, if I had played this before my list, it would have made my list last year. Promise you. This is a great cooperative game where each player takes on the role of a secret agent
Man.
commando type guy.
I thought the same thing.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
Secret
A secret command, a commando that's being
man.
sent in to covertly carry out a mission. You don't want to be found out. You want to stay covert as long as you possibly can, because when people hear you, they attack, and then everybody starts moving your way, and things get from, hey, this isn't too bad, to, oh my goodness, how are we going to win this? It looks impossible. It flips on you just like that. And I love that, because more often than not, World War II themed games is just go in, blow stuff up, shoot stuff, and that's it. That's not this game at all. And that's one of the coolest things about it. On top of that, they have zounds of scenarios that you can go through. And the artwork is beautiful. Everything pops for this game. The only thing that's kind of missing, and I don't think it's necessary, are miniatures. But the tokens that are in the board, they're all fine, and it flows with the kind of game that it is. I think if you put miniatures in it, it might be too busy on the board, because there's a whole lot of Nazis on the board, and there's only a few commandos. So if you make miniatures out of that, there's just too much going on.
Okay.
So I really enjoy the game a lot. V Commandos.
Did he just say no to miniatures?
That's correct.
Miniatures are good.
Say
but
no to
you
minis.
can have too much of a good thing.
All right. My number 24 was 35 last year. It's gone all over the place. It bounces up every year. They're coming out with a new expansion soon, maybe.
So it'll be like your number 6 next year.
No, I don't think so. I think it's kind of settling down here. It's a deck builder. It's the first deck builder. It's Dominion. Dominion is a game I still really, really like. You know, every time I play it, I'm like, huh, this game has held up well.
Do you like the new expansion? I don't remember what it's called even.
The newest one hasn't come out yet, the Nocturnal or something, the Adventurous
okay.
one. I don't mind the new expansions, but I still find myself often playing with cards from the first few expansions. You know, I don't really care. Just put out 10 cards that work together somewhat well. I just did play a Dominion game where they did total random. Not sure I like that.
Okay,
You know, that's
okay, too
you
much.
can get a weird combo that doesn't work together well. But I like taking a look at the 10 cards out there and saying, how can I make this puzzle work to make a good deck? And especially when you play with people who really know how to play, it's really fast. I just love it.
So this new expansion that's coming, that's called Nocturnal something.
Nocturne?
Something
I
like
think it's
that, or
called
Nocturne. It's something.
Okay.
It's-
So will
it's
it make
the
the game?
end
Will
that
it make the
Nightfall.
game fun?
See, I see. You're too predictable. Too predictable.
This is a little bit of the old.
Yeah, it is. Bait and switch.
What numbers are we on?
24.
24.
24.
I've already done my 24. That's why I said 23.
So it's me. Yes? That was your 24?
It was.
My 24 is, this is new to the list, yeah. And this is right now the most, the game that's been getting the most played from me. But just pretty much across the board, because it's solitaire, I can play it solitaire. This is Arkham Horror, the card game.
The dude.
Arkham Horror, the dude. The dude, just me and the inflatable dude.
You don't want to play that one solitaire, Samuel.
Arkham Horror, the card game, is the Arkham / Eldritch game for me. It's a little tighter, it's a little simpler. Mechanically, it's engaging but understandable. It's not bloated so far, and I really enjoy it. It's a superb single-player experience that is still somehow full of story, full of events, and it really embodies its setting and world very well. Love it. I'm enjoying the releases they're coming out with. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm not caught up to date yet. But man, they have been able to do a lot with the different scenarios. In fact, there was just one I played not too long ago that did a whole new thing with the way it engaged the locations, where it basically said, okay, these locations you've been able to travel to, don't do that. Set them up in a row. They now represent a train. And you're jumping from one card to the next, and bad things are happening and stuff. Really neat. Like the things they can just slightly change the layout of the cards, and it's a whole new setting. It's a whole new experience.
World.
Really enjoyed a whole new world. That's my 24.
That song is never sung
Arkham Horror
in Arkham Horror.
LCG. A whole new beast.
23.
23 is another one of those games that seems to bounce around. It was 52 last year. I don't know why it moved up.
Beach ball.
Bounce around.
No, it's a worker placement game. The first worker placement game that I was like, amazing. I like worker placement games, but this one from Glenn Drover, I did not expect to be as good as it was. And that is, I brought it here in Age of Empires 3. That's not even what it's called now. It's called
Empire's Age of Discovery.
Yeah, Empire's Age of Discovery.
No, it's called Glenn Drover's Empire's Age of Discovery.
Do not make this a thing, okay? You can put the name of the designer in the box, but we do not need to be part of the name.
Well, it was a huge licensing kerfuffle, wasn't it?
Right. They had the
just-
license to the video game.
No, that's why they got rid of
originally-
Age of Empires 3. But anyway, this game, now the version out currently is probably too big. It's huge, you know, and it has, and also, I dislike a few things they did in it. Like there's like another side of the board that you can't use unless you got the Kickstarter stuff, so it's like just there.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of that, but the basic game still works really well. It's a mix of area control and worker placement.
Okay.
It plays really smoothly. It's very thematic. Just love the game. Love all the little miniatures that the game comes with too. It could have been cubes, but you know what I like about it is very few games do this. Worker placement games where the workers do different things
That is cool.
based on what the workers are. Usually they're all the same.
You can also play it where each country has its own special ability.
Well, that's now actually incorporated in the game.
Love playing
Really,
it
I never
that way.
played. I played the original. That's a thing now.
Yeah. So that helps, and also the new one also added more of the different buildings and technologies and things,
Right.
so that they're different every game. So that the ships, the ship strategy was pretty strong, getting these ships that are like wilds. And then later on they're worth a ton of points. Those tiles might not show up, so you got to be careful about maybe putting all your eggs in that one basket.
Okay, I
so I
like
like
that.
it.
I forgot how much I like that game.
Yeah, it's a really
great
fun
game.
game.
It's
That's
not
a
on my
very
list
good
anymore,
game.
but I really do enjoy it.
All right. My number 23 is new to the list as well, and this is Yamatai. Yamatai, I am a huge fan. If
Of both Days of Wonder and
you don't
Katana.
know, if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of the designer Bruno Catala, and I am a big fan of Days of Wonder and their production. I enjoy games that strike a nice balance between being strategic and having a lot going on, and are clean. You know, that gets lost a lot for me. Games that did not know what to streamline out. You know, I think Bruno Catala is very good at doing that. And this game is very engaging. It's colorful, it's splashy, there's a lot going on in it. But man, you are going to get a lot of different strategies. You are going to be able to tackle a lot of the same issues in different ways depending on what you've been doing. Love it. I've played it a bunch. I've actually, this is a game that I kind of enjoy teaching, which is very rare. Yeah, because I do.
Yeah.
You know, there's very few games that I enjoy teaching because I think the experience of teaching livens up the game again a little bit. Like, it gets me excited to play as opposed to just setting it down and playing. But this is one of those. Yamatai is fantastic. Very happy with it. That's my 23.
My number 23 is a game that my family enjoys playing. It's probably one of the ones
not
that
Sam.
I have. No, I am part of my family. That is an
that's
inclusive
good.
statement.
Oh, he's right, actually. That's truth. Truth.
I'm learning a lot.
Feeling patronized. Anyway,
No, he's patronizing me.
Stone Age is probably the game that my family has played the most together. Now, it's not everybody's favorite game within my family, but it is the one that we all know how to play, and we all can compete in it. We're not having to pander to one person because they don't really know what they're doing yet.
Unless it's you. Maybe you don't know
Everybody knows what they're doing as far as Stone Age is concerned. We also love the expansion.
With one of the dumbest names.
Yeah,
of
style
any
is the
expansion.
that. Style is the goal, fool.
Style is the goal. There you go. I hate that name.
It's really
Didn't
bad.
they change the name to just call it the
The
expansion?
expansion, yes. Stone Age, the expansion. That's-
Stone Age, sorry.
we won't ever name our thing that again. That's just in smaller type underneath. Yeah. No, we enjoy that. I think one of the things that throw people off is how punishing the dice can be on the different things, but I think that's one of the things that you have to really understand going into the game is that dice mitigation is how you win the game. You have to be efficient on how you mitigate
I don't know
the
that I've
dice.
ever lost that game and I was like, it was a dice fault. That happens like a little bit
yeah.
in the game. You're like, what a roll.
Yeah,
but
you mess up sometimes.
It evens out
Yeah, no,
over the
I agree.
game.
But it does even out. You got to spread your wealth around, so to speak, and go after a number of different things, not focus on. It does have some scripted things that are in it, but you know, a lot of games do, so I don't really count that as a strike against it. But this one I really enjoy, one of my favorite worker placement games. My 23, Stone Age.
22.
My number 22, haha. Okay, again, I don't remember
Is that
what
the name
I
of
did.
it? Ha ha. I haven't played that.
My 22
game.
is also from Bruno Catala.
Surprising.
Fanboy!
Basically from here on out,
Fanboy's
folks.
too mild.
Everything's Bruno Catala.
It's 22, 23 and
more
down,
games.
that's it.
Wait, did he design
Jamaica.
Pandemic?
Jamaica is my 22.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Jamaica is,
Well,
again, there's a bunch of things that I enjoy about it. It's gorgeous. I'm a sucker for that. As Sam has said, he enjoys that too. I probably even more so. To the point that a game will, hit the table more frequently, even if it's slightly less interesting than one that is fantastic, but I just have a hard time looking at it. But Jamaica's a great game as well. It's not just pretty, it's engaging, and it's fun. It's got a lot of piratey goodness. It does have a new expansion, which it would have been on my list anyway. I don't know if it would have been here on my list.
I'm not sold on this expansion, actually.
I really like the expansion. I honestly cannot remember if I made the list before I played the expansion or not. I couldn't tell you, but I like the expansion. If you do enjoy Jamaica and you're ready for a little kick to it, to get it back on the table.
You had
get the
your list
expansion.
made before Gen Con, right? Yes. Yes, you did.
I think
know you
so.
did. I'm pretty
I
sure
think
you did. So you definitely made this list before you.
Right,
made these.
right. But anyway, it does the expansion. I enjoy it. I liked it. I thought it was a nice little refresher. It doesn't rewrite the thing, but it works. It's it'll bring it back to the table. But anyway, really engaging game. Pirates, rolling dice, grabbing treasure. It's all that. All those tropes rolled up into one racing game with fantastic artwork. Jamaica is my 22.
Cool. All right, my number 22 is a game that I've talked about ad
Nauseum.
That's what I was actually thinking.
So
then I
many games
remembered-
fit this category. Bang the Dice game.
Wow. There you go.
Is it
Got
really?
on the first one, yeah.
Well,
Bang the dice game.
That's the game he talks about the most, I think, in top
Probably.
10 list. It
Is that,
feels
is
like
that
it.
what is
Or
that?
BSG. One of those.
I remember looking on our.
There is someone who
guild.
made like stats
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this.
I don't know. That's probably one of them, though. Yeah.
You always
But
talk
I
about
think,
that game.
I
You
think
love
this is
that
one of the
game.
ones that is mentioned the most. I think I do remember that stat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's one of the ones that's mentioned the most.
Ad
like top
nauseum, I
5 or
believe, is the
something
word
like
you
that.
say. That's-
No, I said
that's-
Ad-libbing.
pro.
You're trying to think of a positive
Ad
spin on that.
pro
There's no positivity
some-
there.
I don't know. I'm going to say something bad if I keep trying to say.
Someone out there who
Latin.
knows
I know, they
Latin is
went,
like, Mon Dieu.
Why would they?
Dear
Okay,
Dice.
So my number 22 is Bang the Dice game. I really enjoy this game. It's just so much fun. The expansion makes it so much better. It's called the Old Saloon expansion. It takes care of one of the main problems that I think the game has, and that is player elimination. Although it's not that huge of a problem because games go so fast, and you usually play again. Everybody's back in on the second game again as well. But with Old Saloon, the first player to get knocked out becomes a ghost player, and they continue helping the team that they were on in the game, but from kind of the background, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. It comes with a couple of more dice, the expansion that is, and changes what you can go for. If you want to go heavy into combat and shooting people, then there's a dice that has is it a 3? No, it's a double bullet. It's a double bullet side where you can. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank now. But anyway,
You shoot more.
yes, that's what it is. It has 2 rings. It has 2 rings. Whereas
Right. Okay.
so
that's two
it
different
has
attacks, right.
2 shots at 2 distance instead of just 1. Really enjoy everything that this game does. It is one of my gateway experience kind of dice games. I will pull this out and say, hey, you like Westerns? Yeah. Well, let's play this game. It's a dice game, the Yahtzee style dice rolling mechanic. People will grab onto that. And the player aids are all there. I can hand those out and say, hey, if you have any questions, here's it. If you have any more questions, do this. This is how you play the game, and we get going. It's really fun. It's really easy. Love the game a lot. Number 22, Bang the Dice game.
My number 22 is the highest ranked party game in my list. Last time it was 15. I still just really like this game. Have I played it this
You
year?
already said Balderdash.
Like 3-4 times I've played it this year already.
It has to be.
Has to be Time's Up, man.
right?
Oh, yeah.
We played it at our live 24-hour marathon. I think both times we played it.
Makes us do that both times. He makes us do that.
Yeah, but you like Time's Up. It's not like I'm forcing you to play the game. What is going on here? Yeah, okay. No, Time's Up is a great party game, and these guys know it. All right, we're playing reverse charades next time, man. and the dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So,
Make my list.
but Time's Up is just a game that every time we play it, I'm laughing. There's something funny happens every game, and not just something, but like funny throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
Really like it. I like Title Recall better, but I like both versions. Doesn't matter to me. There's Title Recall is more fun for me because of the tunes, the songs, and people attempting to sing a song or a
Yes.
genre that they
Yes.
shouldn't be. But the first one's also funny because you'll get a person that someone does not know, and by the end of the game, we've totally blown what that person did. They're doing something else,
Yeah.
just because of how their name sounds or the funny clues that were given. So
Yes.
great, amazing game. Time's Up.
21.
My number 21, abstract strategy game. Which this is really high for abstract strategy game for me. But it is great. It is one of the only games that I, by myself, whooped Jason Levine at. And it was in a restaurant.
We have to hear the same story every
Yeah,
single
This is
time.
a battle
Absolutely.
tale, man. This is like.
This is a battle scar.
I think you mention this
tale.
every time.
I will tell. When I was a young
Actually, I know it too. We were at the Longhorn
yeah, we were at Longhorn
Steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
I remember that.
I know what I
And-
ate.
I don't remember what I ate.
I remember
probably
where I was the moment Jason lost to Sam.
Onitama is my number 21. It is
man.
nothing but an abstract strategy game. I love the simplicity of the game. I love how you can literally teach this game in 5 minutes. And really, that might be stretching it a little bit because you have 2 moves, your opponent has 2 moves, and there's a 5th move out there that's going to fluctuate between the 2. You use a move, it replaces this one, you take that one, and then they take the one that you moved after their turn is over. And it's simply, get your dude to the other side of the board or take over the other dude. That's it. And it's so simple. It is not entirely aesthetically pleasing. However, I don't mind the muted nature of the graphic design.
Really? No, I love
it
the
comes
look.
in, and no, I like the look. But usually for an abstract strategy game, I want it to pop. I want it to be flashy.
I saw some guy made a remake of Gundam models. That's all these robots.
Well, the last time we played, me and Derek, we used Arcadia Quest miniatures.
Oh, that's right.
And so
Why?
because they were sitting on my desk, and I was like, let's use these. And so we did. And it was awesome. It made the game that much more fun, just adding different miniatures into it. But anyway, I digress. This is a great game. It's a great abstract strategy game. It's very simple to teach, and people simply enjoy it.
And made usually, it to 21? That's crazy.
Usually, what happens here is we get done with the game, let's do it again. And we play again.
Oh yeah, well I don't know that I've ever played that game once.
Right, it just churns on you, and that's one of the reasons why it's so high. It's because I enjoy playing this game like that. It's my number 21, Onitama.
My number 21 is not quite so simple. It made it to the list last year for the first time. It was, I don't know, it was like around 24, pretty high up. This game has knocked Mage Wars down a little bit for me, has knocked Dominion down a little bit for me, because it's a combination of all that stuff, and that is Codex. Codex is just a fantastic two-player game, which is supposed to be a raiding game like Warcraft.
Sterling Games?
Yeah, it's Sterling Games. And probably, I shouldn't say probably, I think it's overpriced, I think. It's for what you pay for. If you want everything, it's like $200. That's a lot for all these cards, right? But it's extremely balanced. It has... I want to say there's 6 colors. Each color has 3 different ways to play it. So there's like 18 different ways to play.
Okay.
But you're kind of set. It's not like you say, well, how am I going to build my deck? You have these notebooks full of all the cards, like Mage Wars, but you're picking them and you're putting them into a deck building game then. And the game really ramps up fast. You start with the small stuff, and as time goes by, pretty soon you have cards that when you get them out, they're like, I win cards. But everyone has those. They're really powerful. So the game is going to go, you know, and I just enjoy it. You know, what am I going to do this round? You know, when you pick a color, you know, let's say I pick blue, I think blue is the time color. And so am I going to play a past strategy, a future strategy, or the present strategy? Like the future, you can put cards out, but they can't work for several turns. You put tokens on them, they come off, and then they eventually work.
Okay.
While the past puts cards out, and there's tokens on them, and they come off, and then the thing dies.
Sure.
And those are concepts from Magic. It's not like there's anything groundbreaking in this game, but it really focuses on its fast. I really like it. And it's also complete. There's like no more expansions coming, nothing, and I'm not upset by that. It just feels like a nice compact game.
Right. Yeah.
Very similar to how I feel about Summoner Wars, right? There's no more expansions coming for Summoner Wars. I don't care.
Right.
You know, I'm happy. And it's just like Summoner Wars. In Summoner Wars, I grab 2 decks, let's play. We don't have to sit there and go, oh, yeah, there's a minor deck building, but not much. This is the same way. Here's your color, and you can work with it during the course of the game, which I'm fine with. It's a deck building game.
Okay.
But just really fantastic game, Codex.
Cool.
That one I haven't played yet.
Neither have I.
All right, my number 21 to wrap up the list is one of Mr. Vassal's absolute favorite games of all time. This has been in my top 10 for some time. It dropped a little bit down to 21, not because
he played with us.
I think not because
like
of the game, not because of this game, because of so many other fantastic games. It's a crowded, there's too many good games.
Yep.
21 is Cosmic Encounter, of course.
At least it's on your list.
It's very high on my list. I remember actually the very first time I played Cosmic Encounter, I did not like it the very first time because I couldn't grok it. I couldn't get it. I was like, what? Play a card, another card, flip them, highest number wins, plus what? It seemed simplistic and yet too complicated.
So what made you go back to it then?
I don't know. I
you
mean, this was a long time ago. I had a copy.
You have fewer options.
yeah, maybe. And I kept playing, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to get it. And then I think I finally played with the right group of people that were like that treated the game like a gamer's party, kind of, from a thematic point of view. And I was like, I get it. Okay, I see how you got to treat this. This isn't supposed to be brisk, you know. I enjoy it very much, but Cosmic Encounter is about as classic as it gets in the kinds of games that we tend to play, right? It's not chess, but for what we play, it's one that has tremendous staying power. And there's a reason for that. A lot of people enjoy it. I'm included in that. I think it's very engaging and by turns silly and surprising and fantastic. So 21, Cosmic Encounter.
Cool.
Well, folks, we're now up to the top 20. Next week, we're going to finish this, or I don't know when we're doing the next segment, but it's coming soon. Very excited. They got some great games and maybe some new ones for me, but we'll see. You think there's any new games in your top 20?
Sure.
Yes.
There is for me, for sure.
There's at least one I can think of.
I wonder what they are. Well, we'll find out soon enough. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zeke Garcia. Thank you.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks.
Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vassell's top 100 games of all time.
Z's got flavor in his top 100 games. Z Garcia, voice of the people. Z Garcia, voice of the people.